back to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. Tonight, Monday, February 2nd at 4 o'clock, I'll join the Elizabeth branch of the NAACP and Elizabeth residents for a ceremony raising of the African American flag in front of City Hall. And then immediately following, we'll go with Councilwoman Patricia Perkins Auguste, the President of City Council, the guest on last week's show, for the African American History Month proclamation signing program in City Council chambers. On February 4th, I'll attend the Elizabeth Home Improvement First-Time Homebuyer event. The City of Elizabeth and Brand New Day will teach anyone that qualifies to buy a new home within your budget, schedule you for a tour of foreclosed homes in our city, provide you with support and guidance if you decide to make an offer. For more information or to register for the courses, please contact our Home Improvement Office, EHIP, at 908-352-8450 or Brand New Day at 282-0781. On February 3rd, I'll attend a DARE graduation ceremony at the Nicholas LaCourte School No. 3 in Peterstown, located at 700 2nd Street. And on February 7th at 2 o'clock, I'll attend the United Youth of New Jersey annual stepping competition called Jersey Steps. The doors open at 1 o'clock. There will be a $5 donation per person. It will be held at the Mickey Walker Recreation Center on Anna Street. For more information, call Charlotte or Ruthie at 354-0998 or 943-8116. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call the Public Information Office at 820-4124. And for this week's show, I'm pleased to be joined by the Assistant Prosecutor in Union County, Mr. John Esmeraldo. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor, for having us on.
Now, John, one of the things the Run for Children Union County Child Advocacy Center really come together to benefit the department that you head up. First of all, John, maybe you can tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and the department that you're in charge of.
Sure. I'm one of 5 assistant prosecutors that handles child sexual abuse, and that's divided into 2 areas. First are young children, age 0 to 12. We have infants who are shaken aggressively by their parents. It's called shaken baby syndrome. We also deal with sexual abuse from children who are about 5 to 12. Then also children or adolescents, 13 to 17. So with our local municipal police departments, such as Elizabeth Police, the Plainfield Police, we investigate adolescent sexual assault. But at our center, at the Child Advocacy Center, we interview children who have been sexually abused by a caregiver, generally a step-parent or a parent themselves. That interview is then used throughout the court system so the child doesn't have to repeat what happened to them again and again. The City of Elizabeth has been a tremendous supporter of the Advocacy Center for over a decade, since the days of Prosecutor Drew Rotolo, now Prosecutor Theodore Romanko. The Advocacy Center is a one-stop shopping center for those children who are physically and sexually abused. We interview the child, liaison with local police, liaison with DYFS, and also provide screening for medical services and do on-site psychological counseling as well.
Now, you're located on Westfield Avenue in our city, and it's in a home.
That's correct.
And you've kept it as a home.
It's a Victorian home. The long-term viewers may remember this used to be the office of Marvin Brannan and also the surrogate Ann Conti. It's a home that was built in 1940. It's a Victorian 3-story home. So when children come, they don't think they're coming to a police station. They think they're coming to a home to talk about something. The home is apportioned with a waiting room, toys, child-friendly. Then there's an interview room with a table very similar to this type of table, and a chair and 2 chairs. Detective will then ask the child questions. The detectives do not have badges, they don't have a gun belt, they don't have police regalia, no police accoutrements whatsoever. It's a person talking to another person about a very difficult subject.
And that's videotaped?
The videotape, we've now upgraded to DVD.
Oh, DVD.
The last year we finally moved up to a DVD. And we take that videotape, and then throughout the court system, when we go to grand jury, when we go to court at pretrial motions, we use that tape, and the benefit is the child doesn't have to talk about it. Years ago, if you and I were sitting down 10 years ago in 1998, we would determine that a child would have to speak 12 times within a 72-hour period about what occurred. We've cut that down now to 5 times. Medical service provider, local police, our detectives, and then a therapist and a parent. So we want to keep that number of times we interview the child as few as possible to prevent re-traumatization.
And John, what do you look for as a child that goes through such a traumatic incident as child rape or illegal touching? Are they fairly consistent in their stories to all those different people?
Very, very consistent. We would be surprised no matter what age of the child is completely consistent. Sexual abuse, only about 10% of children report sexual abuse. 90% of children and even adults don't report sexual abuse. It's embarrassing, it's difficult to talk about. Sex itself is a difficult topic. This is someone who the child cared for and had a good relationship. They feel that sexual abuse is their fault, and they blame themselves that it goes on, and they don't know how to stop it. The adult is bigger than the child, and the sexual abuse continues for a long period of time. We find that 96% of the allegations of sexual abuse are credible. Those rare times when we have a false allegation, the content of the story looks very different. In addition, there may be a disputed custody case that's ongoing. In those cases, those are less likely to be credible. But when there's no disputed custody case, the sexual abuse is always a credible allegation.
And John, something in the city of Elizabeth that we do with the support of the prosecutor's office and Mr. Romanko, as well as the sheriff's department and a lot of other people, is the Run for Children. And it's something that you run in every year as well, except for last year you broke your foot or something, right?
Quadruple fracture, my ankle all healed, thankfully. The mayor did provide me a golf cart so I can get around, a portion in style. Appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. We do have a run, and half of the proceeds of the run go to the Child Advocacy Center, to our Emergency Victim Fund. When the suspect is arrested, the mom and the child still have to pay the rent. They're back on the utility bills. The money that's raised through this nonprofit corporation, through the run, goes to victims to pay their emergency bills. In addition, we have a great center here called St. Clair's that helps children who are infected with HIV as infants. Half the proceeds benefit that. Your office has always been a strong supporter, as well as the Department of Health, the Department of Cultural Affairs, take up the reins of the run and organize the run so it runs very smoothly. In an average year, we'll have about 200 runners, about 100 walkers, and it's a great fun event.
Are you running this year, I think is a question.
I certainly will be running here. I already started. Join the gym next week.
You join the gym next week and you get practicing?
Already. Hope to finish it in under an hour.
And how much did we raise last year?
Well, we raised a little bit over $9,000, and that was very helpful. Unfortunately, given the tough economic times, whatever money we raise, we spend each year. So for emergency rental assistance, for bills, and also there's some very difficult Medicaid regulations about child counseling. We have to pay some unreimbursed copays. Some copays now are as high as $1,000. So we'll help families to get children to counseling immediately.
Now, child abuse in the Run for Children, you said it's a very difficult thing that's reported. Where do you get your tips or your leads, John? Do they come from the police or do they come from DYFS? I mean, it must be really difficult.
Amazingly, they come from teachers. So teachers are the primary person that a child reports to. A teacher is someone a child knows is going to follow through with the information. After teachers, then it's DYFS, and co-equal with DYFS is law enforcement. Then our local area hospitals such as Trinitas and Overlook also provide referrals as well. And occasionally, a small percentage come from people who are in treatment or parents who are in treatment and they make the allegation. But by and large, the vast majority come from teachers where a child will make a disclosure at the end of the school day, call DYFS, and then contact our office as part of the prosecutor's office.
So teachers are probably the front line a lot of this. And are there any seminars for teachers on what to look out for? Do you go into schools in any way and encourage teachers to, not take these threats lightly? I'm sure there may be some teachers who will say, Mary told me about sexual abuse, but I don't believe her. And how do you get the teacher to say, hey, what Mary's telling you may be true and you need to let a professional follow up?
We've been working with a very interesting group that's stationed out of Trenton called Child Assault Prevention, working on a grant right now with the Elizabeth School System, and they go in, teach good touch, bad touch using dolls to students, teachers, and to PTA and parents groups. In addition, there's an online training resource that we've promoted through our Union County Commission on Missing and Abused Children. So teachers can log in. Each school department has to pay about $10 to $12 per teacher, and it's a 15 to 20-minute informational seminar on the internet that teaches teachers in New Jersey how to refer child sexual abuse.
My daughter goes to a private school, but we had to sign a permission slip for that, I believe when she was in kindergarten or first grade, and it was exactly what you said, good touch, bad touch, and we had to make sure a teacher would explain that to her at that young age. And she naturally doesn't come home and talk about it, but do you think the message gets through at that young age?